Hello Internet, 'tis I, your favorite drag queen turned DM, Shelly Von Miller here, to give you a character breakdown of all the main characters from the new D&D movie, Honor Among Thieves. That's right, we're about to get nerdy and basically make a character sheet for everybody that is in the main cast. It's gonna be great, I promise. If you just came from my movie review, welcome. Thank you so much for coming by again. Did you drop a subscribe and a like on the way out? You didn't? It's okay. I got you. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I do a full movie review and give you some spoilers, but not enough to make you not want to see the movie. Trust me, that is not my plan. Let's just break it down now. I am no way sponsored by Paramount, D&D, Wizards of the Coast, or any of their subsidiaries. I'm just a fan of D&D, I am a professional DM, and I'm also a player. So, you know, I like being a nerd. With that being said, let's get into the video. In D&D Honor Among Thieves, there are 7 main characters that are on showcase during the whole spout of the storyline. There are 4 members of a party that are just a hoot and a holler on screen. 2 are the baddies, who sometimes ride that neutral evil line, and 1 magnificent NPC who's honestly just missing the question mark for your next quest. That's how we're going to break down this video. We're going to go by the party, the baddies, and then our wonderful NPC, and hopefully that makes a lot of narrative sense to you. Let's start with the face of the group. Face meaning that they are the main kind of mover and shaker of the group. They get a lot of the talking done and they come up with the plans. And I mean, it's said in the movie, Edgin is the plan man. Edgin being played by Chris Pine. And yeah, I mean, whenever you think of a face, you usually think of a bard. They just exude charisma, and they've got that joie de vivre to kind of move the party along and just cause enough chaos to keep it going. So that's what we know is so far he's a human and a bard. Nowhere in the movie does it mention what kind of college he's in or if he has like some sort of special ability, but it's kind of given that it's going to be interesting. So whenever I looked at the stat blocks given to us by D&D Beyond, I kind of saw some things that kind of make sense to a college of his. First being that he has a multi-attack with swords or his lute. Whenever it comes to multi-attack and the use of swords in the bard class, I would say a college of swords. But whenever it comes to the Harpers, which is his former group that he was part of, they are the lore keepers and they uphold justice in Faerun. More lore coming soon in a video near you. So it would make sense that he was possibly a college of lore. It doesn't really break it down too much in the movie, but hopefully it would make sense to y'all. So say if he is a college of swords bard, he has a really good dex that is showcased in the stat blocks, and I mean, a dex-based bard college of sword character would make a lot of sense for a Chris Pine. I mean, he's a good singer, and I mean, he can move and shake like the rest of them. So hopefully that makes sense. And whenever it comes to feats, we didn't really see anything showcased, but maybe in later movies we'll see some. Next up is the muscle of the group. Of course, every group needs a muscle person. And Edgin's best friend, Holga, who is played by Michelle Rodriguez. Holga being a barbarian of the Utgert elk tribe. And a fun fact is Utgert is not that far away from where the main story takes place. It's in the Silver Moon and Silver Marshes part of the northeast part of Faerun. Again, I'm going to talk about more of the lore and locations of Faerun and Toril as a whole in a later video. Before I saw the movie, I thought Holga might be a halfling, just like a really tall halfling, for the simple fact that she has a language ability in halfling. But whenever I saw the movie, it makes more sense now. She actually gives up her place in her tribe for her husband, who is a halfling. And this is a little spoiler. He's played by Bradley Cooper, of all people. I kind of was just like, wait, I did the Leo point thing. I was like, wait a minute, is that Bradley Cooper? And it was, and it's quite hilarious. I'm gonna say she's probably a human or human variant now that we get like a better idea of what kind of race she probably is. Whenever it comes to subclass for the barbarian class, I would say that she's probably a totem warrior, elk specifically, for the simple fact of the tribe name. I'm thinking that she has not one but 2 feats, and these might make a little bit more sense if I break it down. One of those being the Tavern Brawler feat. Yeah, that's right. You see it showcased in the trailer and a lot in the movie that she has the ability to just take anything, whether it be an axe or a random hammer, and just go to town on her enemies. And that kind of ability to improv with weapons is really one of the main things with the Tavern Brawler feat. Next, I wasn't too sure if this might be it, but she might have the Grappler feat as well. If you look at the stat block, she has a wrestling bonus action, and I thought it was really interesting. Now, the wording's not the same, but we kind of get the idea of that she's probably really good with pinning her opponents and making sure that they are knocked out for good. The next 2 members of the group, I really don't have to guess, because D&D Beyond actually gives us a really good description and background in their stat blocks. First being Simon, our half-elf sorcerer who does wild magic, and next being Doric, who is a tiefling and is a Circle of the Moon druid. And I mean, come on, that owlbear wild shape is just so excellent, if I do say so myself. They don't look like they have many feats to work in their favor, but I will say that Simon has a really good constitution and might have the tough feat under his belt. But I will say that if you look at those stat blocks, their equipment and skills that they utilize, just chef's kiss. Next are our baddies. Yeah, that's right. Let's start with Hugh Grant's character Forge, who is a human rogue. Now, unlike most rogues that people build in D&D, this is not your classic Dex and Constitution based rogue. No, this rogue is a charisma and wisdom based rogue, and I find that interesting, and how it's played in the movie makes a lot more sense now. He's not those skulking type individuals. No, he will weasel his way in and out of situations given the opportunity, and do it with a wonderful smile on his face. Based on his double cross ability, I'm going to say that he is probably an assassin rogue, and if you add in the possible feat of poisoner and crossbow expert, geez, he's willing to assassinate you from afar or up close with poison daggers and crossbow bolts. And yeah, I like him. He's a good bad guy, and I kind of want to implement him in one of my D&D games. Next up on our baddie list is Sophina, who is played by Daisy Head, and is a Red Wizard of Thay. The Red Wizards of Thay are some of the most notorious bad guys in the world of Toril and Faerun at large, and given that their history is that they're mostly human and not a lot of alliances with outside races, it's safe to say that Sophina is probably a human wizard. And also, let's get into the subclass of it all. She's a necromancer. Yeah, that's right, a necromancy wizard who has a penchant to kind of stab people and use a Finger of Death spell, and I'm all here for it. I will say one of the really cool parts of her is that in her stat block, she has a really high con. which means she probably has the tough feat. And I mean, that's really cool, if I do say so myself. I'm just like a really high intelligence wizard who just uses dead things and uses the finger of death and all sorts of manners to kind of get what she wants, and I'm all here for it. And finally, we have our NPC of the group, without actually having like a huge question mark over his head. We have Zank, who's played by Regé-Jean Page, and is a paladin. Now, guessing by some of the descriptions and everything in the movie and on the stat blocks, he is a human. He comes from the land of Thay, like the Red Wizards, and he's just a knight in shining armor. Let me break it down for you. This is the description from D&D Beyond. Zank Yandar has sworn an oath of devotion, keep that in mind, to aid the innocent. Every inch the knight in shining armor, he thrives when inspiring goodness in his allies. The words, "Neither virtue nor blade shall break," are etched in celestial on the blade of his dagger sword. I mean, that pretty much gives you an idea of what kind of paladin he is. He's an Oath of Devotion paladin. I mean, knight in shining armor, willing to devote his life to saving the innocent. You couldn't ask for more. Now, one thing I find really interesting is that in his backstory, he was kind of cursed, and it's it kind of showcases in the fact that he has lived a longer life and has like all these stories whenever it comes to him saving lives throughout the decades. Now, I would say he's possibly a half-elf with that longer lifespan than a human, but what if he's shadow touched? That's right. Whenever it came to his backstory, he barely escaped and was cursed by a necromantic spell. So there you go. That might be it. He might be shadow touched. Now, it doesn't fit the same description of what a shadow touched creature is, but I think how it might be like a home-brewed flavor of shadow touched. So yeah, with all that said and done, I hope you enjoyed this video. What did you think the character builds were? Make sure you leave a comment down below, and we will get into the nitty-gritty and be nerdy together in the comments. I promise it's gonna be great. Hopefully, whenever the movie comes out on DVD or streaming, we get some behind the scenes and we get like some character build sheets and possibly an idea of what the D&D sessions looked like prior to production, because honestly, I want to see how they acted at a table, as well as I want to see who the DM was, because I just want to nerd out. I just want to absorb all of the information. Make sure, if you want more TTRPG content, to like and subscribe this video, and I will see you on the internet. Bye!